everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rapid Fire Q&A. I am your host, Scotty Milas, and of course we have the infamous and famous Wendi Hill, president and founder of Market Momentum. Anyone who's looking for some marketing suggestions, ideas, someone to help manage their marketing, I would strongly suggest reaching out to Wendi. You can find her on LinkedIn, Wendi Hill, Wendi Hill, Market Momentum. So, Wendi, great to see you again. We had some positive feedback from last month's Rapid Fire Q&A. Just on a side note, you and I were just chatting about it. We relaunched another season of All Things Considered Franchising, a podcast. Our first episode for the new season will be up and running shortly, but we encourage everybody to go listen and look at all the 100 plus episodes, podcasts that we've recorded so far. So anyway, we're going to be answering questions from people who have submitted on social media sites and websites, and just some phone calls that I've had with clients. And Wendi has those questions. And just as a little tidbit here, I don't really see these questions. These are kind of just thrown at me. So, last minute, putting them together on the social media sites, and Wendi handles all this. So that's about it. Wendi, fire away.
Okay, that sounds good. Today we have 6 questions that have been submitted since the last time. The first one is, number 1, what are some overlooked ongoing costs that new franchisees don't budget for?
You know, Wendi, this is one of those questions that, you could really find yourself as potentially a new business owner, new franchisee, kind of behind the 8 ball. So it's really important as you're researching and investigating franchises and narrow your list down to a brand, and especially if you're working with a consultant like myself, to really kind of dig into this, because you're absolutely right. You can kind of find yourself on the shortfall. I think one of the things that people don't really kind of take seriously, and they should, is the financing side. What are the monthly payments? What do I need? Debt to income ratio is going to be important. So really a detailed pro forma on not only the business expenses, but what your personal expenses are going to be very important. Planning and to be successful in regards to budgeting, and but things like maybe a business trip, or a computer, or internet, or just little things sometimes slip by the cracks. But if you're working with a good financial person like we do, we have somebody we refer people to, then they're going to get into the nitty gritty when on the pro forma.
Okay, good. You ready for number 2?
Number 2.
What's a sign that a franchisor's corporate culture may not be a good fit for me as an owner?
It's funny because, when we're coaching people and kind of getting them ready to say yes, and our goal is to get someone at 96%, because the other 4% is fear. I always kind of joke with people that when you're going to meet the team day, discovery day, kind of that last step, you've already at the yes. The only way you're going to say no is that if you go to the discovery day or meet the team day, and you find out the brand is part of a cult that you don't want to belong to. Right. So I think it's really more of that, that gut feeling, or maybe at discovery day you meet somebody or you hear from the president or the founder, and they start talking about the future, and you hear some things that just aren't making sense. So it's really, just that last minute gut feeling, right, that this isn't right. I think by that point, when you're at discovery day, you're all buttoned up. But if there's something you hear or see, or that wasn't presented to you, or you learned about during your process to get approved, then I would say that's a clear sign that maybe we need to take a step back and have a discussion just to clear some things up before you sign the agreements and pay your fee.
Right. Okay. Good. Number 3. I like this one. If I want to build a legacy or involve family in the business, what should I look for in a franchise model?
Well, the first thing you want to look for is a brand that is going to be able to be scalable, because territory is going to be, important. The other part is that, a lot of people say, hey, I want to build something for my kids or a legacy for my family. But, you really have to kind of take a step back and see where you are. If your kids are very young and you're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, still in elementary school, it's a little bit of a different planning. However, if your kids are in high school or graduating college, it's a different perspective. But the first thing is you want to make sure that the brand is scalable. You can get into multiple locations. Because if you're going to build a legacy, then you're going to have multi-units or multi-territories. The other thing you want to do is make sure and see if there's anything in your due diligence validation about people that have already built that family legacy, multiple units, have families involved, to make sure that the family can get involved and talk to the brand about that. And number three, and this is a common mistake people make, especially when the kids want to come into the business sooner rather than later. The parents don't involve the children in the process to learn about the brand.
Okay.
I never forget the story one year, many years ago. I had a mother who invested in a concept for her son, but her son wasn't involved in the process. And 3 months after opening, the son decided, well, he didn't want to do this anymore. So I think the mother was stuck, I guess is the best
Right.
way to put it, running the business until the brand can find an alternate or help her get out of it as far as selling. But you want to get the family involved in sooner rather than later, especially if the kids are at that age. If
Right.
it's early elementary school kids, start talking about the brand and kind of forecast that out a little bit as far as
Okay.
building that legacy.
That's good advice. Number 4, how do I know if I'm financially ready to invest in a franchise beyond just having the liquid capital?
Talking to a financial expert. I mean, this
Okay.
is a very important step for my clients anyway, to get financially informed, educated about financing. There's a lot that goes into financing. Believe it or not, financing affects the ROI. So a lot of people always ask that question, well, what's the ROI? Well, in order to really kind of zero in and get that validation, you're going to have to understand your financing. So it's very important to get in front of this early, and just really get a good sense of and get yourself educated on the financing options that are out there. And there are many, whether it's a 401k Rob's rollover, SBA, term loan, equity loan. You really want to get out in front of this very early.
Okay. I'm interested to see how you answer this one. Number 5, if I'm deciding between two strong franchise options, what's the tiebreaker question I should be asking?
Well, the first thing is, I think at least the way I've handled this with my clients is that are you trying to put are you just trying to pick one for the sake of picking one? So I think we really have to sit down and really kind of evaluate uh, both opportunities and really zero in, which you should have been doing anyway, on which is the best fit. Now, that's the key here. I think people have a tendency to focus a little bit more on passions. So in this
Mhm.
case, I would say let's zero in more on the fit. Is this something that really is a good fit? And kind of pick the one that is the best fit scenario. Little things like scalable. If I want to get into future territories, what does that look like? So there are little things that can help make that decision for you. But I think the big one is that we want to make sure that either one of these is a good fit and kind of work our way from there.
Okay. Okay. Now here's the last one. We touched on this a minute ago. What are the financing options beyond SBA loans that most candidates overlook?
There's the 401k Rob's rollover. Being able to utilize your 401k to open a business without any tax consequences or penalties, withdrawing money, putting it into a separate account.
Okay.
We do a very good job. My financial advisor that I work with, have my clients speak to, does a very good job about explaining this. So I'd say that's number one. Although because it is your 401k. I certainly do not encourage my clients to unload all of their 401k to open a business. We have to be very careful. Sometimes you can do a combination SBA and a 401k. There are term loans, there are HELOC, home equity lines of credit. Recently just had a client last week moving forward with 3 units for a particular brand, is financing it through a HELOC line of home line of credit. So there are many different ways, but again, we really got to get out in front of that early in the process, because financing will have an integral part in which brand you go to and whether you move forward or not.
Okay. That's all that I have. Just look for the podcast, probably midweek, late next week. It'll be out again.
All right, great. Anyone who is interested in learning more about franchise opportunities, researching, educating, and kind of going down that educational journey, feel free to reach out to me, Scotty at theperfectfranchise.com. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, but certainly hope. Thanks again, Wendi. I've enjoyed this again, and keep the questions coming in, and we will see you next time. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.